Digicel TV, home of Rugby League. Dial star 515 hash to subscribe. The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, this is TVWAN News. I'm Jasmine Iru.
And I'm Carol Kidu Jr. Join me later in the bulletin for sports.
In this edition, Urisim launches road project, Marpe reassures on measures to counter inflation, and POM hosts South's basketball. Air Niugini experienced disruptions to its services during the Easter long weekend due to unscheduled maintenance events. Air Niugini is currently progressing a refleet program, which includes acquiring 11 new next-generation jet aircraft to replace its current fleet. In the meantime, the airline will have additional Q400 turboprop and Boeing 737-800 aircraft by September to improve schedule reliability. The airline's CEO apologized for the disruption to travel plans. Maria Anna Feister from Germany and Poland is a volunteer with the Salesian Sisters of St. John Bosco and has been here since September 16, 2022. Teaching young people as an educator with the FMA Sisters in Port Moresby. Feister has been amazed with what she received from her students, which is more than what she expected since she joined VIDIS, Germany, Austria, the Organization for International Volunteer Assignment in Germany and Austria from the FMA Sisters.
Maria Anna Feister is only 18 years old, but as a volunteer with FMA Sisters in Port Moresby, she is teaching female peers and also learning from them. Quoting Einstein, she says, "The only source of knowledge is experience," which Feister said she is gaining a lot in PNG. Her main mission is to assist the school life of Mary Help of Christian Vocational Education Training and Food Center, the new school for ladies built by Father Valeriano Barbero for the FMA Sisters community in Port Moresby. She said to switch the role from being a student not so long ago to working as an educator is giving her a new view into school life. It was obvious that a good school can be a safe place for young people. The school events like youth camp, the celebration of Teachers' Day, which she experienced for the first time, or the family gratitude are a great opportunity for her to know the school and students. Feister spends her time with the students and shares her knowledge. She expressed she gets more than she gives, including love and respect from people around her. It is making her grow as a person. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
The National Cultural Commission of Papua New Guinea has teamed up with renowned TV journalist John Eggins to produce a documentary titled Culture Re-Invigorated. The NCC was established by the government in 1994 to facilitate the preservation and protection of traditional cultures of indigenous people in Papua New Guinea.
Renowned Papua New Guinea TV journalist John Eggins has joined hands with the National Cultural Commission to produce a video documentary that will chronicle the NCC's journey from its inception to its present-day operations. The organization's vision is to preserve, communicate and celebrate the country's cultural diversity and promote contemporary arts as a lucrative industry. However, The NCC has suffered from systematic neglect in the maintenance of facilities and appropriate budgetary allocations. Eggins believes that Papua New Guinea's culture is rich, authentic and unique, and that the country has inadvertently allowed this unique treasure to deteriorate over the years. He emphasizes that culture needs to be given the same priority as education and health in budgetary allocations and policy formulation. The documentary aims to give a better understanding of the NCC's work and the need for better resources. It will shed light on the NCC's achievements and position the organization as a significant contributor to the preservation and promotion of Papua New Guinea's cultural heritage. The NCC hopes to attract potential donors and sponsors to support its effort and pave the way for better preservation and promotion of Papua New Guinea's rich cultural heritage. Carol Kiru Jr., TV1 News.
The PNG Oz Partnership Higher Education Initiative is promoting collaboration between universities in PNG and Australia, with the aim of enhancing academic excellence. Through this initiative, 6 PNG universities have received funding to implement academic strengthening projects in selected facilities in partnership with Australian universities. This collaboration provides opportunities for PNG university staff to enhance their skills, update course content, and engage in PNG-related activities that align with the interests of Australian universities. One such partnership involved the University of Goroka and UNIQ conducting a baseline study on STEM programs at UOG. The study allowed for professional dialogues with STEM specialists to enhance the relevance of STEM curriculum teaching and teacher training at UOG. Member for Teleforming and Minister for Works and Highways Solan Mirisim recently launched an 8-kilometer road project that will link Matopai and Edwaki Station to Vanimo. The event was witnessed by Governor for West Sepik, Tony Wowo, and other provincial leaders.
It was a joyous moment for the people of Namea LLG who have been using speedboats to the nearest Kaiku River to access land transport. Minister for Works and Highways and MP for Teleforming, Solan Mirisim, when speaking during the launch, highlighted the importance of the road, saying there's a potential in agriculture activity in Namea LLG, but road access remains the challenge. He said with the road launching, access to the markets will be easy for his people. However, Mirisim is appealing to return to agriculture. Mirisim says plans to connect all the 4 LLGs of Teleforming by road, and at the end of this year, 2 LLGs will be connected by road. This will be history in the making. After 47 years of independence, Teleforming has no road connecting to major centers of PNG. He added that the DDA has development plans that will only come to fruition with better road connections. He said movement of government goods and services will be easy. They can build better schools and aid posts. Mirisim presented a 1 million kina check to the contractor Tumla Investment Limited to start this important road link on top of an additional 2 million kina. Governor for West Sepik Tony Wowo also committed 1 million kina to the road project and pledged his continuous support. Freddie Mo, TV1 News.
You cannot talk about small businesses or agricultural export if you do not have good roads. Morbe's Provincial Administrator Max Bruton made this statement during the recent launching of Minyamia's 5-year plan and new projects. Bruton emphasized that economic growth is only possible for rural Papua New Guinea if the wards and districts have good road connections. He further outlined that during his term, he will travel the length and breadth of Morbe to see how the provincial administration can support its people.
Producing districts in the countries. As for me, the administrative head, I see that we cannot talk SME in Minyamia, in Kabum, in other parts of Morobe where roads are not connected. As for me, as the administrative head, is road networks.
You're watching TVWAN News. Stay tuned for more when we return.
Whether we're playing sport, exercising for fitness, being active for work or play, just having some fun, or just chilling, there is one name we can count on that we know will keep us going strong. Skell rice. Healthy, nutritious, delicious medium grain rice full of vitamins and minerals. Skell helps us maintain a healthy, active lifestyle so we can enjoy every day.
Skell rice. Skell life.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
Open net.
Favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook, and with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Laga, Bunyamyumi.
It's the fabric of our state, a state bound by one dream, one colour, one team.
And the battle resumes. Right on the money. It's on in the back plane. It's on. There are punches. The Magic Man from Newcastle.
Welcome back. The recently opened Pacific International Hospital at Rainbow in NCD was established in consideration of the patients from the Port Moresby Northwest electorate. Port Moresby Northwest is a large area which the PIH has not been able to reach efficiently to date.
Pacific International Hospital opened its Rainbow Center recently. Chief Executive Colonel Sandeep Saligram remarked that patients from Rainbow and Gerehu, who usually travel to Waigani or 3 Mile centers, now have the service closer.
It took us a while to set this place up, because what we wanted was to get it to the PIH standards and bring the place to speed so that we can offer our quality of services which were non-existent in this area.
Shaligram added that the center will be integrated into the PIH IT backbone, the hospital management information system, and all patient records are held on the cloud and on the web simultaneously.
So any patient who has been seen previously in any of the PIH centers, be it Leh, be it Mount Hagen, be it Port Moresby, Waigani or BSP, all the records are instantaneously available to the clinician who is seeing them.
He said records of patients from former years are also available on the HMIS, including all of the patient's history. Founding Director Dr. Amina Sultan expressed deeply the need for private-public partnership in order to enable everyone to be able to access essential and timely medical services.
So that we are able to reach out to those less fortunate as well, and provide timely and quality care. You know, that's, I think, an evidence-based care, because that is extremely important. People will, you know, criticize that, oh, I went and I had to have so many tests or whatever.
Dr. Amina added it is important to be thorough, doing a step-ladder approach, doing all necessary tests before a decision is taken for medication. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
The Ministry of Information and Communication Technology has initiated a review of the National Information and Communication Technology Act 2009 in Papua New Guinea. The current legislation, which was passed 14 years ago, requires a comprehensive review to reflect the significant changes and developments in the ICT sector. The review will consider critical issues such as data governance, cybersecurity, fintech, artificial intelligence, digital skills, and cloud technology. The ministry has established a technical working group jointly led and resourced by the Department of ICT and the National ICT Authority to undertake the review within 2 months. The aim is to update the existing legal framework to support the digital transformation agenda and create new investment opportunities, particularly in the telecommunications sector, and to reduce internet prices. Prime Minister James Marape has the current rate of inflation in the country is not higher than on previous occasions. He said the government is working to ensure people are not affected, hence introduce inflationary measures to help our people live through these hard times.
Speaking during the panel discussion hosted by tertiary institutions at the University of Papua New Guinea recently, Prime Minister James Marape gave the assurance that the government has been working to try and ease the burden on the people during these hard times. He explained that because the country depends on imports, global events like the Ukraine-Russia war, climate change, as well as domestic events like the recent national elections have contributed to the high rate of inflation in the country. However, he said the government is monitoring the situation and interventions are being made to ease the burden.
Last 4 years were tough times in our nation's history. 2020, once in a 100-year pandemic, wasn't easy. 2021, living through the effect of an economy, global economy that contracted as a result of COVID-19. 2022, election and the Ukraine-Russia war that came upon us. These global events had a cascading impact on inflation also, because we live in an import-export economy, highly dependent also on things we import from outside. And so we have to live with this. We as government are trying our absolute best to lift the burden of those who are really struggling the most.
The Prime Minister also explained that the government is focusing on downstream processing going forward to cut the high inflation rate in the country.
Being sensitive to the hard time all of us are living, parents and citizens and students, we are always monitoring how best we could assist you. And I just given to you 2 indications of direct intervention. And I want to place a record, and someone can check the records. No other governments of past. There was high inflation in 1997, 1998, 1999, 2000 period. These sort of interventions were never made. There was high inflation again in the 1994 when Kina peg against US dollar was removed and Kina was allowed to free trade. There was no intervention made. We know today times are tough. Parents have more children. Population has increased. Government needs to make interventions.
He also said people can also help themselves by buying local. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
Leader of the opposition, Joseph Lelang, said the issue of high inflation rate must not be underestimated. People in the rural areas are greatly burdened by it.
We have a lot of good ground stuff. We can grow food and we can feed ourselves. And if there's surplus, we can feed the rest of the world. But there are a lot of things that must be put in place in order for
us to achieve that as part of our national strategy on agriculture. But the issue of inflation will always be with us, particularly externally, coming from outside our country.
Iden Limited, a PNG-owned international consultancy company for networking and business development, is set to target Indonesia and the Philippines this year for local business matching. The company aims to empower entrepreneurial professionals and create international business pathways for Papua New Guinean businesses. Iden Limited, a locally owned international consultancy company, is targeting Indonesia and the Philippines for local business matching. 2 IBP presentations are scheduled for the 19th and the 27th of April 2023 for entrepreneurs to know more about the IBP model and system for SMEs who are looking to find overseas suppliers and buyers to grow their businesses. Iden Limited Managing Director Mariana Ellingson said that the IBP is 80% self-education and 20% other benefits from international exposure. Ellingson aims to open new business opportunities for Papua New Guineans to experience evolutionary entrepreneurial skills and develop their businesses.
With Indonesia, we go to an event, the Trade Expo Indonesia. We go to that event. Whereas with the Philippines, it's the Trade Mission Philippines. The business there is that we develop the program. You know, it's like we have to custom make it. We have to tailor it to what the SMEs here might be looking for.
The trip to Indonesia will be in October and Philippines in September.
I haven't yet figured out whether it's Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, or could be Vietnam next on the list of countries that will, there's opportunity for Papua New Guineans who might want to go to those countries for business. So I'm opening up those doors.
Ellingson added that she is opening doors for other entrepreneurs in different services as well, like digital SME or MSME services. And that ends the news segment. We now have the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. This is TVWAN News. After the break, we'll have news from abroad.
All One Talks adds some excitement to your festivities with the Flame Easter Bonanza. Win a slice of a whopping 300,000 kina by purchasing the Flame Family Bundle Pack, which includes rice, sugar, flour and vegetable oil, all in one go. Highlight these goodies on your receipt and scribble your full name and contact details on the back and pop it in the entry box in selected stores across PNG. 4 fortnightly draws, 100 winners, 3,000 kina each. You don't want to miss out. This promotion ends on the 31st of May. Flame, strength and energy. Terms and conditions apply.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaru, get up a big smile on face. Time for kim chicken, a great
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
Tired of sniffing, sneezing, and congestion? Stop popping pills that don't help. Get essential vitamins found in nature through these supplements that are formulated to reduce the symptoms of common colds and flu. Boost your body's immunity with these supplements that provide a protective shield against nasal congestion, sneezing, mild bronchial cough, and sore throats. Walk into a city pharmacy and pick up a bottle of Nature's Way Garlic Plus C and Horseradish or the sugar-free Cenovus Sugarless Vitamin C tablets and say goodbye to sickness. Available at a city pharmacy near you.
You got that smile, oh, it lightens up the street for a mile. 'Cause being down doesn't suit your style. Hold your head up, 'cause love will keep on going strong. And then smile, it's a given when everything seems lost. Don't cry.
A heavy and bloody encounter earlier took place between the authorities and the said group.
The police raided the place where the vendetta was staying, and one of the witnesses said that Cardo was among those that the police engaged with.
We saw it on the news. Vendetta has escaped again?
My son is still alive. I want to see my son.
I'm not gonna stop until I have found them.
Welcome back. The faithful observed one of the holiest days on the Christian calendar, hearing messages of hope, love, and reconciliation in Brisbane.
A day of solemn reflection and celebration of the fundamental tenets of the Christian faith, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Christians came together to mark Easter Sunday at services around the state, hearing messages of hope amid conflict and suffering around the world.
What we celebrate today is the birth of a hope beyond all that seems hopeless.
Marking the end of gatherings during the Holy Week.
I think in the community, I think people are looking for some kind of hope in the midst of all the pressures that they're feeling and facing.
And a day of renewal.
I invite you now to renew the promises of your baptism, to say yes once again to the risen Christ and to say it in faith.
At the centre of celebrations is spending time with family.
So what we do is our Easter Sunday tradition is come to Mass and then we go home as a family and celebrate together. This is Eli and it's his first Easter, so it's very special to us.
You know, I think Easter is a message of hope. You know, it's a time to sort of think about and reflect about, you know, your life and what's coming forward. So I think that's a big message for Easter.
The Lord has risen up and we celebrated with our family and just gathering with family.
Traditional services celebrated hand in hand with more secular Easter activities.
Workers around the country will be cashing in their public holiday penalty rates today, except in South Australia and Tasmania. Unions say SA hasn't kept up with the rest of the mainland, but businesses are warning the state Labor government to proceed with caution.
Mall welcomes thousands of shoppers scouring for an Easter Sunday bargain, but some retail workers say it's a day that has left them out of pocket.
There's so much confusion at this time of year among my co-workers around, you know, why aren't we paid public holiday rates on the Sunday?
While Good Friday, Easter Saturday and Easter Monday remain a public holiday, South Australia is still debating whether to put Easter Sunday in the same category.
I still think people should be getting paid public holiday rates, having worked in hospo before.
If people are working on their holidays, they should get paid.
The Retail Workers Union is pushing for reforms.
Not just in our retail stores, but right across the economy. So whether they be our emergency services, disability support staff, retail workers, petrol station workers, fast food workers.
Business SA says that more public holidays will increase cost pressures for small operators in an already tough economy. One Adelaide City restaurant owner says the move may force some businesses to stay closed across the long weekend.
The perspective of worker, yeah, they should get a penalty rate on Easter Sunday as well. But as per the hospitality side, like of a business owner side, it's a little bit tougher side.
While public consultation continues over South Australia's Easter trading laws, retailers hope a decision will be made sooner than later, so small businesses have enough time to plan their operations. The Deputy Premier says a decision is due by the end of this year.
And protecting the diversity of who is able to open and when. But, yep, the Easter Sunday is a strange one, and we're out there right now and consulting people to see what they think.
But for now, Easter Sunday remains a day in limbo for many workers.
A filmmaking program for people with intellectual disability is underway in Tasmania. The program aims to help participants gain skills in filmmaking so they can take part in the industry as well as tell more stories of people living with disability.
Has a passion for film. She's among the first intake of students to take part in a Tasmanian filmmaking course for people with an intellectual disability.
Go. I want this course because I want to get more behind the scenes with the cameras more.
Bus Stop Films has been operating interstate for 13 years and now it's in Tasmania. It's a chance for participants to showcase their capabilities and help change people's perceptions.
If you cut certain people off from even just working in the crew, you're losing different perspectives and stories.
Over 40 weeks, the students will create a short film. It could end up on the big screen and even be shown around the world.
I want to try and make like a kids movie, like something like Shrek. But not like Shrek, just something like that.
The program's ambassador says for her it was a reprieve from teenage trauma.
I was about 15 and I was still at school, even though I was getting bullied every day. But being part of film actually escaped my reality of it.
I think it's really, really critical that we're showing our whole Australian community, and having people with disability is one part of that community, but it's a large part of the community. So when we're not having their voices heard, we're missing out on really authentic, amazing stories.
And there could even be a job at the end.
We want to ensure that it's not just a fun program to come to, but they're actually learning and they are building the skills and the confidence to then go out and be employed.
Focusing on a more diverse film industry for the future.
As bulk billing GP practices continue to decline, more people are trying to manage chronic health conditions themselves at home.
A walk to the washing line is a difficult journey for Julie Mallinson.
The pain just gets so bad, I have tears in my eyes.
The 51-year-old disability pensioner has severe lymphedema in both legs. She should be seeing a GP fortnightly. It's now been 8 months since her last appointment because her local clinic stopped bulk billing.
We have to make sure our rent is paid and we have to pay the power bill. And we've got to make sure we've got food. I mean, we're supposed to be able to have free health care. It's not free. It's not free at all.
Despite numerous phone calls, her daughter Sam was unable to find a new bulk billing GP.
Angry is probably the feeling that comes to mind most, but also upsetting.
Bulk billing is declining across the country. Doctors say it's no longer affordable due to rising staff and business costs. And they say the federal government's plan to strengthen Medicare doesn't include a significant lift in the rebate the practice receives.
At the moment, it's impossible to see how bulk billing rates could do anything other than plummet.
The Grattan Institute says greater reforms are needed.
That means giving doctors money for seeing patients over a longer period. It means funding the bigger team to support them so they don't have to do all the work themselves.
For Julie Mallinson, being unable to afford to see a doctor has meant she manages infections at home and goes without pain relief.
I live in hope that it'll get better so that my granddaughter can grow up and be able to access basic things.
And that ends the news segment. After the break, we'll have sports news with Carol.
Dear son, you ask me how I live such a good life. Yes, I've had some good luck, like the day I met your mother. But it wasn't always that way. I've made some good choices too, like working hard and keeping my super with NASFAN. They looked after it for me, which meant I could concentrate on looking after my family. Living each day, knowing that when the time came, I'd be ready for tomorrow. Love, Dad.
Remember the joy of playing with your toys as a child? At Money Plus, we believe that every small business deserves a chance to build and grow. That's why we offer asset financing.
Our chance to building something new, to see a different point of view. With Money Plus, we're ready to go.
Mipla halivim wari belong you.
They said, David, we're lost.
It was an accident. We don't want the police showing up, poking their noses into everything. You got into a car with a drunk, which makes you an accessory.
I feel like I've been an accessory for a long time.
He wants you to return with them to bury the boy. Did he mention money?
You might be planning something a lot nastier than anything you can anticipate.
People disappear here. They just vanish.
The Forgiven premieres Saturday, April 15th, 9 p.m. on HBO.
WWE! This is your chance! Swat home! He hit it! Oh no, mommy! Do something! Oh my God!
Well, folks, after literally years of negotiation between the Fan and the management of Steve Menzies, we have secured the great man for the show. Welcome to the Fan.
This is all going through my head, and then all of a sudden he passes it back. Oh, my God.
Today we have enlisted the help of Panthers co-captain and superstar halfback.
When you've kicked it well, you usually know, and especially on the chip kicks, I usually know.
Thanks to Nathan Cleary, invaluable insight for the fans out there, for the kids out there.
Inte armarna på bordet. Nej. Vet du.
Du, har du extra nyckeln? Till... Nej, hem till dig. Ja, vad har du gjort av din?
Jimmy bor hos sina föräldrar, fast han får inte ha någon egen nyckel. Anders har allt det där som Jimmy inte har.
Vad glor ni på? Har ni inte sett en människa?
Jo, jag har sett många.
Asså?
Mischa kom till Sverige på 70-talet för att arbeta.
Ge mig mitt barn.
Sebastian! Sebastian, svara!
Lämna försiktigheten bakom dig och sök äventyret.
Welcome back. In sports, PRK National South's basketball tournament is again setting the benchmark for basketball in the country and region with the staging of its 15th edition this long Easter weekend at the Tarama Aquatic Centre, Port Moresby. The tournament started on Good Friday and concluded successfully today with grand finals for both men and women's divisions.
15 men and 13 women teams took to the TAC basketball courts over the past 4 days to compete in this year's PRK National South Basketball Tournament. This year marks the 15th year for the tournament, regarded as the biggest and longest off-season basketball tournament in the country and the whole Oceania region, according to the National South Basketball President Silas Nicky. President Nikki said since its inception in 2008, the South Basketball Tournament has continued to grow with interest, with additional teams coming on board this year. Nikki said this year they have teams from Southern Highlands, Western Highlands, Jiwaka, Hela and NCD.
Last year we have 13 women, female, and 13 male. This year we have another 2 teams coming on board, so we have 15 male and 13 female. It's been an increase that we have seen 2 new teams. So there's so many teams showing their interest to participate, but due to some financial problems and all this, we can't accommodate them. But at the moment we have 28 teams participating through this Easter weekend.
While it may be common knowledge to say that the people of Southern Highlands only play rugby league since the NSBL started, there are now young boys and girls embracing this sport, a big breakthrough for basketball.
When you look up in Southern Highlands, mostly they play rugby. But as you can see, like we have in part of our village or in school areas or whatever, we have some basketball there too. So we Southern Highlands are peace-loving people and we love playing sports. So we take part in every sport. So yes, it's a stronghold of rugby league in the islands, but NSBL has been there. It's been breakthrough doing some 15 years back. And so far we have so many teams interested coming up from the islands.
Nikki said since NSBL started on Good Friday, the pool matches have been intense and played at a higher level as teams fight for placings in the semi-final playoffs, prelude to the grand final today, Easter Monday. The president said last year's reigning champions, Kutubu Lakers, are again favorites to retain the title, but that could be an understatement judging from the number of quality teams this year.
Every team, they want to beat Lakers, and they want to go to the top. So every teams are playing perfectly. They are winning. Some of them, lost 1, won 3. So I think I predict Menjals of Mendy and Lakers and KSS Kurubu South and Port Moresby EMK City Rangers. These are the toughest team to beat.
The president said NSBL also promotes inclusiveness and diversity, with prominent citizens also participating. He said it was humbling to see Works Secretary David Were, Director and Chairman NSBL John Uwari, and the wife of Prime Minister Rachel Marape taking the court. Jerry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
The 15th edition of the PRK National South Basketball Tournament this year has again attracted young and old sports enthusiasts from different levels and classes of the society. If anything, a number of prominent leaders were seen flexing their muscles and having fun engaging with athletes in basketball during the Easter weekend at the Tarma Aquatic Center.
After a hectic working week in the office, what better way to unwind and refresh through engaging in sports? This year's National South Basketball Tournament featured a number of prominent figures running around on the courts playing for their respective teams. Secretary for Works David Were played basketball for EMK City Rangers. His team was up against an equally strong and fast PRK South outfit in red, with both teams having a strong presence of PNG reps, current and former, challenging each other in their last pool match on Sunday before today's finals. It was a high-class contest played with a lot of speed, energy, skill and aggression, leaving an excited crowd cheering on. South eventually got home in a nail-biter by 3 baskets. Were was kind enough to share his basketball experience and how he's mobilizing youths in settlements to engage in sport for fun and to also build good character and become productive in their community.
It's always interesting, exciting to join the kids during the weekends. We got a team that takes part in the national basketball competition in the city. It's called the EMK City Rangers. These are kids from the, settlement that we try to bring them together and have some fun, take part in the city competition and give them a, bit of purpose in life. Instead of just having kids running around doing nothing, we try to mobilize these kids, and it's been running. The team has been running for the last 6 years, and we've been taking part in a number of different competitions.
Were was pleased to say that Rangers' team has a lot of young boys with potential to play at a higher level. He said the club has become a benchmark team in the tournament with a strong support base in the city.
I think basketball can bring together a lot of youths in the city, and I can say in the competitions we are playing during the weekends, you see a lot of children from the city coming out and keeping themselves busy instead of idling around, going into some petty crime and other social issues in the city. It's good to see. We've got to find something that keeps the youth engaged, committed in some business of life. And
he encouraged both young and old to engage in sports, have fun, adding, life is too short. Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
The 6th edition of the New Power-sponsored Sports Talk Sevens tournament concluded late Saturday evening with the Cup, Plate, Bowl and Shield Grand Finals played at the Santos National Football Stadium. Out of the 24 men's teams that competed last Friday and Saturday, it was Billa Suarez of West New Britain and Gero natives of NCD who made the big Cup showdown. Suarez were too good in the end, beating natives in close fashion, 12 points to 7 to take out the inaugural title. Leah Chiefs picked up the plate while Hiri West took the bowl. In the main women's final, again Hiri West was picked in the major honours. At the post-match presentations, New Power Limited CEO Michael Wari congratulated all the winning teams and thanked all participating teams for making this year's edition another success story.
Again next year if we're around, and congratulations to Biala. They obviously traveled quite a long way to get here to participate, and they won the tournament, which is really, really encouraging. It's good to see another centre win, as Arab did last year. So I think that's the best result I think that we could have hoped for, that another centre won the tournament.
And finally, program connects communities with refugees through weekend soccer.
For a lot of kids, this is a standard Saturday. For Sapan Al-Muhammad, it's a dream come true.
In Iraq, we played in like the dirt and streets. In here, we play in nice fields.
The 13-year-old, his older brother Saman and younger brother Rizgar live for football.
It's an amazing sport. Everyone loves it around the world.
The brothers are Yazidis, moving to Australia as refugees 4.5 years ago. Now all three play for the same local club in their adopted hometown of Toowoomba in southern Queensland.
It was a real pleasure to meet the boys last year. We took them under our wing. They've brought so much to the club.
They got involved through a program aimed at helping migrants integrate through sport.
Exists to be that first point of entry into a community, and then we'll sort of facilitate from a 4-week program into transitioning into a proper team, and it's just such an important tool to get to know the local culture, people.
It was important because I got to know people, the ones who came to the Connecting Through Sports, and I liked it. That's why I joined it.
According to the 2021 census, Toowoomba is home to the largest Yazidi population in Australia. Their Kurdish dialect is the city's second most prevalent language after English. Saman Al-Muhammad is now translating for new arrivals on the pitch.
No matter whether they speak English or not, they can hop out on the field, they can play a game of football and still have a really great time.
Kicking their football goals.
And that ends the news segment. Over to you, Jazz.
Thank you, Carol. Before we go, remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent the transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you're feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by BSP, our bank, our people.